Okay, it's now 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order this time. Please come up for opening prayer.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you so much for your blessing of rain here on this city. And Lord, thank you so much for all the dedicated workers of the city, and especially for these city council members as you place them in leadership to guide this city, Lord. Thank you so much for our police and our fire department who protect and serve this city. And it's in your son's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Bryce.
Pages here.
Okay, Ms. Davis, would you please verify the roll?
We're all present.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
So moved. Second.
Motion to second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Is there a motion to approve the prepared agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, first of all, I'd like to invite and welcome everybody here. Sheriff Stevens, your lovely wife, glad to have you guys here. And what else do we have back here? Is that Mr. Moody?
Moody.
Moody, okay.
Yeah.
Chief Deputy Moody, glad to have you here as well. I can just see the top section there. Glad to have you here. All right, next on the agenda is citizens' comments. These comments should be no longer than 3 minutes in length and must pertain to city business. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council? Okay, please come forward. Yes. Just state your name and your address, please.
My name is Sarah Gay. My address is 85 Lick Creek Road, Newark, Arkansas. You need the zip code?
No.
Okay.
You don't mind, I've got some stuff written down. Okay, so I've already told you my name is Sarah. I'm a current employee at the local post office delivering mail here in town. I served in the Army and also worked corrections for several years, so I know what a hazardous environment is. And I never thought that delivering mail in a small town would be hazardous or dangerous, but it is. Because we've got numerous dogs all over the place that are biting people and nobody is checking up on them. There are people seen walking around with golf clubs and baseball bats in Westside for protection against dogs. And the only time I've ever witnessed animal control pick up an animal was a dog that I've known for years to not be aggressive. The dog was in its own yard, it just got out of its fenced-in yard. And he caught it in its yard and then mentioned writing a ticket. My first call to animal control was about a pit bull in city limits that attacked me on numerous occasions. And he told me that there was nothing he could do because the apartment that it was living in did not own it. So he just couldn't do anything about it. So we couldn't deliver to them for over 2 months. So they just didn't get their mail. And then the last call I ever made to animal control resulted in me being cussed and yelled at by the owner of the dogs because they told me that animal control told them I was the one that called, which was completely unprofessional. Now, there's currently an entire block that hasn't had their mail delivered in over a month. It's almost 2 months now because of a loose dog that's been biting people and bit a mail carrier. And so animal control has told several of the postal employees that he would pick up the dog. And that was almost 2 months ago. Still hasn't happened. I took a picture of that dog yesterday as it was chasing my truck. A year ago, animal control told me himself that he would pick up a pit that was in city limits that had attacked me and bitten another mail carrier, resulting in that mail carrier having to go to the emergency room to get stitches. And that dog is still there. It's tied to a dog house, not on a pulley system like the ordinance says it's supposed to. And yesterday when I went to check up on it, it was shut inside of the dog house, locked in it with no food or water. So, but he told me that animal control told me that it was not a big deal. It was not owned by the people that have it on a harness in a doghouse, and that he didn't suspect it had rabies, so he never tested it or verified if it had rabies vaccination. Another carrier was bitten, which also resulted in 19 stitches because that dog never got picked up, never verified if it had rabies vaccination, if it had rabies. So people are having to go to the hospital and get rabies vaccinations because animal control will not verify. And then every animal bite that's ever been reported has never been followed up with. They've never picked up the dog, nothing. Working in West Side, I see dogs tied to trees and kept in small pens on a regular basis. I took plenty of pictures of those. And chickens that just run all over the place. Majority of the animals are not tagged or licensed. Aggressive dogs are on the loose chasing people. And we've got pits in city limits. Two of the attacks on mail carriers that resulted in going to the emergency room were pit bulls in city limits. Basically, public safety should not be put in question due to them being inadequate at their job. But I've got plenty of pictures if you would like to see them.
We're good at that. We have had pictures sent to us, and we will bring this subject back up during Mayor's comments.
Okay.
But thank you for your remarks, and greatly appreciate that. And like I said, we will discuss a little bit. Animal Control Officer Mr. Nelson is here, so we'll let him kind of talk about some of the dogs and some of the challenges that he has out there in the field. So thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak? If not, let's go ahead and move to first line of business, new business. To consider an ordinance for the approval of an application for private club permit for the Twisted Spud LLC. Would someone like to introduce the ordinance?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the ordinance by title only?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. Council, please cast your votes. Mr. Meitzen?
Consider an ordinance for the approval of an application for private club permit.
Okay, is there a motion to further suspend the rules and waive the second and third readings?
So moved. Second.
Council, please cast your votes. Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes. Motion to adopt the emergency clause.
So I read it.
Sorry. Yes, Mr. Massey, you want to read the emergency clause?
Yes. It being necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of people in the city of Batesville, emergency is declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect on after its passage.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is consider an ordinance for the approval of an application for private club permit for Malls Downtown Table. Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's my bad ear. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just getting a little ahead of myself. Okay, I'm gonna start over, guys. Next on the agenda is consider an ordinance for the approval of an application for private club permit for Malls Downtown Table LLC. Is there a motion to read the ordinance by title only?
Move.
We have a second?
Second.
Please cast your votes. Okay, Mr. Meitzen,
Consider an ordinance for the approval of an application for private club.
any discussion? Not, is there a motion to further suspend the rules and waive the second, third, or the waive the second, third reading?
Motion. Second.
Let's cast your votes.
Motion carried.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, Mr. Roberts. Please cast your votes.
Motion carried.
Mr. Meissen, would you please read the emergency clause?
Yes, sir. It being necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the city of Batesville, emergency is declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes, council. Okay, next on the agenda is an executive session to consider the hiring, firing, promotion, and demotion of one or more city employees. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay. Okay, moving on, we do have some appointments and reappointments, and this time for the Airport Commission, I think we've got one reappointment and appointment.
Yes. For
first, as far as a reappointment, recommendation for Mr. Scott Lancaster to be reappointed for another term on the Airport Commission, 5-year term.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Second that motion.
And motion is second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay. And I think we have another one for a new
Yes.
position.
Yes, for a new position, I have a recommendation in the form of a motion for Mr. Steve Case to join the Airport Commission at this time. Motion.
Second.
And motion is second. If not any discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, and Public Facility Board appointment.
Yes, I have a motion to make to appoint Chris Milam, reappoint for that term for the Public Facilities Board.
Okay, make a motion.
Motion.
Okay, a motion is second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of Chris Milam for reappointment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Yeah, I think that's all the appointments, right?
Yes.
Okay, next scheduled meeting is November 11th, which is Veterans Day, and the city is closed that day. And what are you guys' wishes for the first meeting in November? Would you want to do that on the day of Veterans Day, the 11th, on Tuesday? Or would you like to back up that and try to have the meeting on Monday, the 10th?
Is there a reason we need two in November? Not saying we don't have enough business, but then we run into holidays with the second one. Is there a way we can just have one meeting in November?
Possibly could. I know I've got National League of Cities in there, so I think that was my biggest challenge for November. Let me grab my calendar just to make sure.
We don't mark this meeting, I want to.
Okay, 11th is pretty much the middle of the month because that's the second Tuesday. 18th, I'm out, National League of Cities. The only other time, the other scheduled meeting is the 25th. So,
you're saying do it on the 4th?
It's election day.
I know.
yeah, well,
Or the 10th.
that'd be a
What
little,
if we just had it on a Monday instead of a Tuesday?
so that's what I said the 10th.
Oh, sorry.
10th?
Great.
Okay, everybody good for the 10th?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Do we let's get a motion in that.
Second.
Have a motion, a second, to move our council meeting to the second Monday of the month, which would be on the 10th. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign.
So there's just one in November?
No,
Well,
we'll still have the 25th unless that's Thanksgiving weekend, but we'll see how new business. We are moving through our the budget process, and so there will be a budget meeting at some point. Myself and Jessica and Damon are working through that as we speak. So, but I will be getting with you guys about the possibility of a budget meeting at some time. It may be in early December, but we'll see. We're moving through it. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to bring up tonight is discuss the purchasing of a truck for landscape from Red River Dodge. We have, and the reason I'm saying this, for a state bid, they have some 2025s. They had two with utility beds that were $57,000. And they both sold before we could make a commitment to at least having to hold them or whatever. We paid $82,000 if we change and wait. We just purchased one of these and we paid $82,000 earlier in the year for the 25 for this year. They have one on the ground that a bed can be placed on for $63,000. So this would save us about approximately $20,000 if we purchase this thing what I'd like to do is get permission from the council. We're going to work this in. Johnny Abbott's, he needs more than one, but he usually gets all the hand-me-downs. And what I mean, we've had to put transmissions in these vehicles, and he goes all over, he takes over all of our parks and cemeteries. And so we've got to have he's got to have a vehicle. So what I'd like to do is possibly borrow that money and go ahead and get this vehicle in this year, but pay it back with this year's budget. Does that make sense? So it'd be $63,000. It's in the budget for next year. We've got it in there. That will probably be one that we'll probably advocate to keep in the budget. We may have several cuts, but I would need your permission to be able to go ahead and say yes to this vehicle.
You need that form of motion?
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Have a motion and a second to move forward with the purchase. If hopefully it's still on the line. I think he said to hold this one. But any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay. One other thing I'd like to mention is the Main Street Batesville is hosting the Fun and Safe Halloween this Friday at 4:30 p.m. So everybody be mindful of that, and we want a safe trick or treat. And believe me, Rob, you're a resident on Main Street, but there's probably thousands of folks that go up and down Main Street. So it's really a good thing. I greatly appreciate all of our businesses downtown continuing to do this. One other thing I mentioned, I'd probably have Ross, or if you would please come forward, Ross. We're actually, and I want to get your phone number so I can visit with you extended time about animal control. But right now, I just want Ross to come up here and basically tell us what your hours are at the deal. I know that you've had some challenges with an assistant. You have an assistant hired now,
Right.
and she will be taking over. She will be, I think, living, and that was one thing I needed to get permission from you guys. The assistant always takes a vehicle. She does live in the West Side area. But first of all, I'd like to get possibly in the form of a motion. She will be, I think, in a week and a half or 2 weeks, she's been on ESL. She's been in training. So at least he's going to get some help that he has not had. So if I can get a motion motion to take the vehicle. Okay. Do we have a second? Okay, from Paige.
This is for Josh's working. The new year.
Jessica Martin. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jessica Martin.
Okay, we have a motion and second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, like sign. All right. So, Ross, if you could just maybe tell us about your hours, who you have on staff, if you've got.
So currently, I'm working 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30. We do come in early to just double check all of the machine and everything. But I'm physically at the shelter 7 days a week. We have 2 employees on staff. Jessica Martin, she started with me 2 months ago, and she'll be completing her tenure with ESA by the end of this month, and we're hoping to bring her on with the city full time. Also have Faye Brinkley, who's attending as well. She's my office manager currently. Her schedule is noon to 4, but with your approval, we have her coming in earlier to assist with some of the office stuff and answering calls during the business day. But the office officially opens up at noon. But of course, we answer call outs all throughout the day and throughout the night. I'm on call 24/7,
Right.
and answer as many calls as I can. Work with PD and the fire departments and various other departments as well whenever they have stuff going on. But so I'm usually down there, and if I'm not, I'm a phone call away.
If you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, what are your biggest challenges?
Oh, just people. I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to register. They don't want to listen to any kind of ordinance regarding anything, especially dogs. They get very passionate about their dogs. Yeah, I've had my life threatened because I told people they can't tie their dog to a tree. And it's just preposterous that you would threaten somebody's life over something like that. But it's just, we're constantly dealing with people. I mean, West Side's always been more of an issue. There's just a lot of people on West Side. The lots are smaller. There's more people. They're stacked on top of each other. We try. I mean, I'd say maybe half of the dogs we bring in come from the West Side area. I'd have to look at the data to actually back that up, but it does feel like we do bring more from West Side than we do the rest of the city totality. But we can't just focus all of our attention on West Side because we have the entire city, and we try not to neglect anybody. Like Gap Road, that's one, Pool and whatnot. We try to get out there, pick them out, and Ridgecrest, North Park, but it's just a lot of people, a lot of dogs, and we're short staffed. I mean, we've only got 2.5 people essentially, with park pay. But we try to answer everything we can, investigate everything I can, and I'm thankful when I do have extra help with PD and the fire. And sometimes I get out, and the sheriff's office is also assisting. But we try to help out, and we appreciate any help we get. But I think staff is just the biggest issue. Staff. I mean.
Ross, will you tell them what you were telling me on the phone about if it's after hours and they leave a call, how that works?
So if I get the messages that are left on the machine, I get an email to my phone, and if it's something pertinent, I'll take care of it right away. But if it's something I need to check on my way into work in the morning, I can check it out at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Our message machine does say that if it's an emergency, call 911 or dispatch, and of course dispatch can holler at me at any given time. I mean, I've had call outs at 2, 3 in the morning for everything you could imagine, and we're always call away. I think one of the bigger challenges is I live on Highland, which it just takes a lot of time to get from my house to anything in West Side, especially. If it's in East Side, I'm right there, but West Side, depending on traffic and conditions, it can take a minute, but we try.
How many, and I know I heard this morning, I know Andrea did some type of report on there, and she did that. How many dogs, and like I said, you don't have it right in front of you, but it seemed like over 200 dogs.
Something like that. I think we average about a dog and a half a day, which we don't cut them up. But
right, yeah.
Some days we may not bring in any, some days we're bringing in 12, but we try to bring in everything we can. We try not to bring in if we are able to. If we're able to identify the owner, we'd rather they go home. Right. And we'd rather advise people what they need to fix in order to correct the issue and to just be compliant. And compliance is an issue with a lot of people.
Yeah. And if an individual is bitten and that dog has been picked up, what is the protocol for that?
So when an animal is bitten, a quarantine is a requirement per state law. The animal must be quarantined for a period of 10 days. Vaccinated animals are a little more lenient. They can be left at the owner's house if proper quarantine can be ensured to ensure the exposure to other animals will not happen. But in the event that it's an unvaccinated dog, and if the dog has been at large, the bite happened outside of the property, the animal is usually brought into my facility to do the quarantine there. But the quarantine period is a 10-day period. After the 10 days, the animal is sent to the vet for a post-bite examination and to be properly vaccinated. Unclaimed animals are generally euthanized, and animals that are particularly vicious that are not claimed are usually euthanized, and their head is sent off for testing with the state Department of Health.
Nice. What do you do if you're on patrol and you see a pit bull?
Oh,
do you immediately pick it up?
Not always. It depends. If it's clearly owned, we'll tell them that. If it's owned, like if we.
Yeah, but you can't own one in city limits.
Well, not supposed to. But you can still own a dog.
You're not supposed to, right?
But how do you know it's bit?
Wait, you're on patrol.
Yeah. Well, a challenge we are running into is currently they are actively introducing new breeds that derive stock from what we define as a pit bull, but are being clarified as not pit bulls. And we also run into a lot of emotional support animals and service dogs that happen to be pit bulls. But per federal law, they're allowed to have those dogs.
Right, you see a dog on a chain. What do?
We pull leave a door hanger, send out a courtesy warning, advise that is improper tether, and give them guidance on how to correct that with either a runner or a pin. And
we pass ordinance about the dimensions of the dog pens.
Yeah, roughly 10 foot by 10 foot.
And so
if someone's bitten,
when you're called,
Yeah.
do you call Batesville PD in to do the report?
No,
How does that work?
so the state just changed up how the reports are done. It's now through a web portal called RedCap. It's a QR code. I have a flyer that I carry, but generally the bite investigation form I do, it's a print off from the State Department, but the actual bite report is generally done now at the doctor's office. That is required. You're required to visit the doctor anytime you are bitten by an animal for a post-bite examination. Usually, post-bites just require some sort of antibiotic and probably a tetanus shot if that's out of date, which a lot of people find they're not as safe for tetanus. But after the 10 days, we'll finalize our report and we'll file it away.
What about cats? I know we have get a lot of calls on cats and things. So
We're bringing a lot of cats. Last month we brought in 53, I believe, which is a large number of cats because our shelter cannot hold 53 cats at any given time, in addition to the cats that we already have. So feral and stray cats are usually euthanized before they enter the building. And owned cats, I've only ever reclaimed like 2 or 3 cats in years of service. Most people, once their cat's gone, they just don't come back for it. And but we work with one of the local TNR groups. I bet I'm good at trapping, and then they're able to get the animal.
Yeah. And what is the adoption process? I know I'm jumping from one thing to the other, but
so adoption after a 10-day hold, unless it's an animal that's been relinquished to us, then we can shorten that hold. But generally, we hold an animal for 10 days. After the 10-day period, we can assume if it's healthy or not, which there's no way to guarantee anything. But after a 10-day hold, if the animal we believe is adoptable, we will try to adopt it out. Some animals, depending on the breed, rescues, they usually swoop in and try to take them before we can adopt them out to the general public. But we do try to adopt out everything we can.
I have a question back on the emotional support and service animal. This may be a Tim question, I don't know, but if that pit bull is registered as a service animal, does that trump our city ordinance of no pit bulls? It does.
Absolutely.
That's a good question.
Do we have, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to this, do we have written policies that really kind of guide us as to, for example, when do we pick up a dog? When do we, basically what our protocol is in most situations, I guess I would
We
say.
should, yeah. Probably an older copy on the book somewhere down at the office, but yeah, we should. The big problem is that each call is a little different. The circumstances leading up to it, the dog in question, the people in question, the area, there's a lot of different factors at play. So there's never like a blanket policy for how to treat every single one. But we do try to follow the guidance as long as if we're able to find the owner. We'd rather keep the dog. But if we're not able to find an owner, we'll take it to the office. We'll take a picture and post it online so that the owners could potentially know where it's at and reclaim the dog. We'll check every dog we bring in for a microchip, although microchipping is not very common, but we hope to change that in the next year. And of course, a lot of them don't have collars or tags, which is a requirement by the city law, city ordinance, but we can only enforce so much.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, council? Okay. Thank you, Ross. Thank you. Okay. On reports. Council comments.
None. Mr. Fredericks?
None.
Ms. Hinkle? None. Ms. Hubbard? None. Mr. Krug?
None.
Mr. Moody?
None.
Mr. Reeves?
None.
Mr. Roberts?
None.
Okay, there being no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.